Eckhart Tolle said, "You are here to enable the divine purpose of the universe to unfold. That is how important you are." I'm going to say that again. You are here to enable the divine purpose of the universe to unfold. That is how important you each are. Now, when I think about that, I think, how am I supposed to do that? What does that mean to me? And that's how the title of today's talk came, Embracing the Beloved. And I don't mean that to embrace something or somebody outside of me. It is to embrace the beloved within me, within each and every one of us. It's not outside of ourselves. It's the oneness of every living thing, even the things that we don't like. God is in that too. At Unity, we believe Christmas is about the birth of the Christ consciousness within ourselves. As we talk about embracing the beloved within ourselves, that's what we're talking about, the Christ consciousness within each and every one of us. And if Christ is a word that doesn't resonate with you, it's that highest thinking, the divine within each and every one of us. Today is the second Sunday of Advent. Now, the definition of Advent is the arrival of a notable person, thing, or event. So let's say that that notable person or event is our beloved consciousness, the highest consciousness within each and every one of us. The arrival of the baby Jesus is symbolic because Jesus was our great way shower. Jesus was not the exception. Jesus was the example. The arrival of the birth of the Christ mind within me. Christ is from the Greek word Christos, which means the anointed one. But he is not the only anointed one. We are each anointed. We have that capacity within us. Every year we look forward to anticipating and preparing for this new birth of the Christ within who we are. And in that we live more from, not just knowing about that higher consciousness, but a deep embodied knowing that God lives in me and God lives in you. Our lives are a divine expression of light and love. We are all invited to tap into the truth of who God, the divine, has created us to be and be more of that. In preparing for this talk, I was watching Reverend Michael Gott. He's one of my favorites, and he runs a church in Houston, and it's a huge church. I've been there, and they have lots of kids. And during the Christmas ceremony, they have a manger, and they have a little crib. And instead of putting a baby Jesus, they have a mirror. And they ask all the children to come up and look in the crib, and they see themselves. Isn't that, I mean, it gives me goosebumps. So my proposal to you is when you look at yourself in the mirror this week, see the baby Jesus, see the baby Christ, see the baby divine in each and every one of you. You don't have to be perfect to be made in the likeness and image of God. You are the likeness and image of God exactly the way you are. You are perfect. Christ abides in each and every one of us in his or her and our potential of perfection. Christmas is to remember, to open to a greater experience of the light of God within us. Learning to love our humanity while knowing our divinity. It's a gift to be human, and it's a gift to choose to look at life this way. During Advent, we're given each week a new way to prepare for this beloved within us. So last week, which was the first week of Advent, was intending and living from hope and faith to embrace the beloved. The daily word said, hope is a seed, a possibility. Our divine faculty of imagination allows the seed of hope to sprout. Nurtured by faith, that seed takes root and grows from I hope to I believe. When we choose to live from faith, when we choose to surrender our lives over to the will of life itself, the highest mind and heart of God, we are embracing the beloved. When we do, we are given the opportunity to overcome all obstacles and be the people we came here to be. As Reverend Arlene said last week, faith is trusting whatever happens, it is God. Have faith that God's will for us is our highest and best good, that God's will for us is whatever is right for us. Whatever happens in our lives, whether we like it or not, however it looks, we need to remember that this too is God. This too is good, and this too is meant for me. It brings us back to our first principle, to have faith that there is one power, one presence active in the universe, God the good. Now this week, the second week of Advent, is noticing and living from peace, the peace that surpasses all understanding. The beloved peace lives in me now. The Daily Word said, we affirm peace for ourselves and all beings and letting the peace of God flow through me. Peaceful living means calm, even in the middle of chaos. We rely on the peace of God that resides within to promote calm in my life, my home, and my world. Gandhi said, peace is not the absence of conflict, but the ability to cope with it. This candle was not lit today so that we could sit around and just pray and meditate all day, every day, although we need people to do that. It's created, or it is for us to create a world that is right now, and we need to be something stronger, something larger. It is something that we need to take a stand for. Like the song John Lennon wrote 53 years ago, isn't it time we live into that dream? If you don't remember, some of the words are, imagine all the people living for today. Imagine all the people living life in peace. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. Nothing to kill or die for. You may say I am a dreamer, but I am not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us and the world will live as one. Can you imagine it? We can do it too. We can stand for peace where there seems to be none. As you watch the news, can you be the change we need this world to be? We cannot find peace by avoiding life. I ask each of you to step into making a difference on the planet by making a difference in your world and in your thoughts. It will reverberate out like a stone thrown into a pond. One clue is taking sides is not the answer. When we call something good or bad, that feeds into the us and them mentality. It creates more conflict. The way to get to peace is not by blaming anyone, but to see everyone as they are, as whole and magnificent expressions of the divine. I know it's a lot to ask. It's a lot to ask of me, too. But everyone has to stand on a side. But remember, as I look out there, we've all felt like we've been wronged, and we want to stand with the people we think have been wronged. But we've all been wronged, right? At some point in our life. Whether it's our age, whether it's the color of our skin, whether it's our cultural background, whether if we're gay, it doesn't matter. We've all been wronged, so we know what that's like. So why not stand up for everybody as the oneness? We can take a stand together or individually for fairness, wholeness, health, and love for everyone. And then we can find peace. We live in an infinite universe, but when we take a stance, and I have to grab what is mine, and I have to protect my own, when we take this, we exclude others. We do it with money and land. We didn't learn from the Native American Indians, who were caregivers of this land. The land didn't belong to anybody, to them. The land belonged to everybody. We need more understanding that we are one with every living thing, even our enemy. When we can sit with the one we have called evil or bad, we are truly experiencing being spiritual beings, having a human experience. We are a magnificent expression of divine life, and so is our enemy. As I said, it's not easy, but one thing required to make this happen is there's one answer, and that answer is love. Now, I know that I'm asking a lot, and it's funny because So I wore these colors today because they are the colors of a peacock, and the peacock is one of my totem animals. And as a peacock, they have their feathers are eyes, and they're symbolic of willingness to see things in a spiritual way, willingness to see the truth. So I'm not only asking this of you, I'm asking it of me. So to come to this place of peace, we have to find love in our hearts. It's the only way. It's the only way. In the Bible, love says, Paul wrote in 1 Corinthians 13:13, so now faith, hope, and love abide, these three, but the greatest of these is love. Love is the greatest of the spiritual blessings. We can express love in moments of unconditional appreciation for all people. The more I look for reasons to share my love, the more I will find. I also have a book called The Prophetess, which is the female version of the prophet. We are actually here on this earth for the great work of love. Love is what breaks us open. It is the destroyer of every small self as it calls us forth unto all we are destined to be. Love is the deepest law of the universe. I found something written by Stephen Levine, and to help us know what to expect when we're truly wanting to embrace this part of the beloved. And I asked Raisa and Johnny to help me out with this. So we are dropping in on a person trying to install new software on their emotional hard drive.
Tech support, how can I help you?
Well, after much consideration, I've decided to install love. Can you guide me through the process?
Yes, I can help you. Are you ready to begin?
I don't know if I'm any good at this, but I think I'm ready. What do I do?
Well, the first step is to open your heart. Have you located it?
Yes, but there are several other programs running now. Is it okay to install love while they are running?
Well, what programs are running?
Let's see. I have past hurt, low self-esteem, grudge, and resentment. They're all running right now.
Yeah, no problem. Love will gradually erase past hurt from your current operating system. It may remain in your permanent memory, but it will no longer interfere with other programs. Love will eventually override low self-esteem with a module of its own called high self-esteem. However, you have to completely turn off grudge and resentment. Those programs prevent love from being properly installed. Can you turn those off?
I don't know how to turn them off. Can you tell me how?
With pleasure. Go to your start menu and invoke forgiveness. Do this as many times as necessary until grudge and resentment have been completely erased.
Okay, done. Love starting installing itself. Is that normal?
Yes, but remember that you have only the base program. You need to begin connecting to other hearts in order to get the upgrades.
Okay. Oops, I have an error message already. It says error. Program will not run on external components. What should I do?
Don't worry. It means that the love program is set up to run on internal hearts, but has not yet been run on your heart. It's, in non-technical terms, it simply means you have to love yourself before you can love others.
So what should I do?
Click on self-acceptance, and you'll see a drop-down menu. Now, click on the following files: self-forgiveness, realize your worth, and acknowledge your limitations.
Okay, done.
Now, copy them to the My Heart directory. The system will override any conflicting files and begin patching faulty programming. Also, you need to delete verbose self-criticism from all directories and empty your recycle bin to make sure it is completely gone and never comes back.
Okay, got it. All right. Hey. Oh, hey. My heart is filling up with new files. There's a big smile on my monitor. And peace and contentment are copying themselves in my heart.
That's normal. So you have successfully installed love. One more thing before we hang up. Love is shareware. Be sure to give it and its various modules to everyone you meet. They will in turn share it with others and return some cool modules back to you.
Thank you, God.
You're welcome. Always.
Thank you, you two. Can any of you relate to any of that? Absolutely, right? Sounds easy, but sounds simple, but not necessarily easy. So we've got faith and hope, We've got peace, we've got love, and finally is joy. That's the last week of Advent. And it all leads to joy, right? All of this that's where it's leading. There's a stirring in us to rejoice. The imminent birth of the Christ is an exciting time. Joy is the welcoming of unconditional love and the deep knowing it is the birthright of all the world's beings. It is the awe felt at the birth of a baby, the scent of crisp, clean air, the watching of a comet flame across the night sky. These are some wonders that bring us joy. We don't need to wait for these things to awaken our joy. During the Advent journey, we have grown in faith, peace, and love. With joy, the Advent journey is coming to an end. This wonderful feeling of deep contentment, a full heart and tranquil mind, leads to the expectancy of the birth of the Christ consciousness within. This is the greatest gift we can receive, and we get to hold on to forever if we choose to. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how to embrace the beloved during this time of Advent. I want to say thank you. I am your sister in prayer, possibility, and power. I appreciate you. I love you. Know that you are blessed and a blessing always.